Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is the Art Boss Report, and today we're going to be talking about why some of the old school selling styles that we use when we're selling in art shows, out of our galleries, out of our own studios, why they're not working as well as we would like in order to sell more artwork online. There are some major shifts we can make, actually, some shortcuts we can add into our selling process when we're working in the online market. And if we're not making those shifts, it actually causes a lot of overwhelm and a lot of extra work. So, super excited today to be digging into why the old school methods aren't necessarily working in your online selling strategies and the simple shifts that we can make to leverage the power of the online market. So I want you to grab a comfy spot in your house, grab a comfy spot in your studio, grab a beverage of choice. It may even be lunchtime for you because we're going to dig on in and we're going to talk about the one shift you can make in your online selling strategy that will immediately impact and modernize your selling process, your selling strategy, your selling style, so that you can maximize results, maximize sales, and maximize profit in your online selling business. Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Rena Uha with the Art Boss Report. And today we're going to talk about modernizing your selling style. So, we're working really hard, recognizing that we have billions, that's with a B, billions of people who are leveraging and using social media. We can find our customers right here in our favorite social media platforms. However, if you're like a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to adjust their selling styles from a more retail based selling style to an online selling style, you're getting stuck and you're like, you know what, this is just totally exhausting. And I think that what we're going to be talking about today is the perfect reset and perfect aha moment that we can provide here at the Art Boss Report that will allow for you to modernize your style and leverage the power of online selling. So, when we are working in more traditional methods, old school methods, when we are working out of a gallery, maybe we have an art exhibit, maybe we're working at an art show, people are literally coming into our booths, they're coming into our galleries, they're getting in their cars, they're driving somewhere, and they're coming to visit us. And the whole process that happens before someone ever shows up at our studio, at our gallery, at our art event, inside of our art booth is they've been vetted. It is a term that we use where we qualify and disqualify people before they ever open the door to our studios, open the door to our galleries, walk into our art booths. It's a process. It's typically taken care of by your gallery owner, maybe the art event planner, maybe even you've planned the whole entire thing. You've run you put up your flyers, you've talked to all your people, you've sent them emails, and you've invited them to come to a physical location. You've actually vetted them. You have given them the opportunity to decide whether they want to visit you or not. You've also gone through a process of qualifying and disqualifying those people before they ever show up at your booth. Okay. So when we move to the online market, sometimes we forget this step. We forget to vet the people. We forget to make sure that we are qualifying and disqualifying people. And we're going to talk through how the old school method that we're trying to use in the online market, I'm going to show you exactly why it doesn't really work and why it's super exhausting. So, we're going to let me grab my presentation and we're going to go ahead and jump on in. Okay. So, here's the old school selling system. Okay. So, when we have an art show, when we have gallery exhibit, when we're inviting people into our studio, this is our typical selling style. We create our artwork, then we price our artwork, then we find leads, right? Then we go out and we invite people to come to our physical locations. And then when they come into our physical locations, we allow for them to kind of browse and shop. We make offers. They either say yes or they say no. If they say yes, we do the happy dance. And if they say no, we just kind of go, all right, thank you very much for your time. And we move on to the next person. So we run a process where it's very linear and it has a starting point and a stopping point. And it always starts usually with the creation of artwork. Then we price the artwork, we find our leads, we make our offers, and then whether they say yes or no, we just continue on to the next person. So there are some key components in here that we can actually start shifting in order to leverage and modernize our selling process. But here's what we do instead. So we go and we say, okay, I had someone who said, yes, great. I'm going to create a new piece of artwork, price that artwork, find another lead, make another offer. And when they say no, I'm going to go and find another person. We start right at the lead finding until we sell that piece of artwork. So here's what it starts to look like. When someone says no, instead of keeping that lead somewhere and keeping them safe and actually engaging with them and continue to work with them, we just move on to our next lead. So it starts to look more like this. Okay, here's the problem with this method. Business standard conversion rates are about 3%. I'm telling you, large businesses do cartwheels over 3%. And the reality is, it doesn't matter what your conversion rate, it doesn't matter if your conversion rate is 1% or 20%. It's going to start telling you what you need to be doing in order to close the sales that you need. But here's what happens. Okay. So if we're running on a 3% conversion rate, which is pretty much the standard typical conversion rate, we run through this process 10 times. We create a piece of artwork, we price it, we look for a lead, they say no. Then we go to the next one, the next person, we go to the next person, we go to the next person. We go to 10 people, and if all 10 people say no, and we're just making offers to every single person we meet. We're out there in the online market. We haven't vetted anyone yet. So instead of making offers to people who we've vetted, we're just out there making offers to anyone, any 10 people that there are. So when we start looking at our numbers, if we just make offers to any 10 people sitting out there in social media, and if we have the standard 3% conversion rate, that means that we have 0 sales. Okay, 0 sales. We might get lucky, and out of the first 10 people that we go and we just make an offer to, we might get one person. But what really happens is if our 3% conversion rate is holding true, if it's a 1% or a 10%, it really doesn't matter. But we have to make 100 offers to people. And we're doing that individually, making offers to 100 people. And when we run our conversion rate, that means that we have 3 sales. Your artwork better be priced at the level that reflects the value of what you're doing. You better have it priced at a value that allows for you to have profit in this whole entire system. So no wonder we're overwhelmed. No wonder we're exhausted. If we're using old school selling strategies where we're meeting each person individually and making offers, okay, it's just exhausting. So instead, what we want you to be doing is we want you to start leveraging the power of the online market, and we want you to be running a system. We want you to first build that system and then run that system, because instead of going and trying to find 100 people to talk to, we can actually move these 100 people, these 100 leads through our system as a group, as a unit. Instead of trying to talk to everybody individually, we can move them through as a unit. That's the power of the online market. That's the power of social media when we build a system. This is what the Art Boss formula looks like. Instead of trying to find a person to person to person and selling linearly to individuals one by one, let's collect our leads. Okay. Instead of starting with creating artwork and trying to find a person, let's start with collecting our leads in a container simply and quickly. Then we're going to move to the place where we start connecting with our leads, getting to know those 100 leads, starting to share our story and our artwork before we get all salesy. We talk a lot about being the salesy weirdo. This is the step that a lot of businesses miss because they just go from collect to sell. Okay, so if you skip the connect part, that's when you start looking like a salesy weirdo. So we want to move from connect to close. We want to be closing in a system where we're making offers to the 100 leads as a group instead of individuals, because this is what allows for us to maximize the power of the online market. This is what we work on every single week inside of the Art Boss Business Builder, because we want to be working directly with you to gain that clarity that you need. What's working? What's not working? Are you connecting with your leads in a way so that you can close them? And if they're not closing right now, if they're not part of that 3% conversion rate that's going to close right now, let's get them into that container so that we can continue to work with them and close them in the future. Let's go back for a second. Okay. So here's this looks very linear. Okay. It looks like we run the groups through this process on a linear basis. It implies that there's a start point and a stopping point. The reality to a super high converting system is that it's actually it's in a system that allows for momentum to happen. Yes, this is visually on purpose to show that when we are collecting our leads and putting them inside of our social media selling container, that place where we can have outbound messaging, that place where we can connect with our customers over and over, it allows for us to constantly be putting new leads into our container. We can be putting them in batches of 100 instead of just one by one trying to move them through this whole entire process. Let's move them through in groups. Let's start connecting with them in a way that we're giving our ideal customers, our ideal leads, our audience, everything they need to say yes, so that when we make our offers, we're closing at our 3% or at our 1% or at our 10%, whatever your close and conversion rates are. Totally amazing. Doesn't matter what the number is. Yes, we will work with you to increase those conversion rates. We can get them up from 1% to 2%, even beyond. We have art bosses who close at a 10% conversion rate. Super amazing, super exciting. We want you to be able to run a system. We call this the C check. You have to have a container where you collect leads, connect with your leads, and then close your leads. And you have to have the ability to create clarity on what you're doing. If you're not running a system, you don't have numbers to measure. So you don't know if you're finding your right leads. You don't know if you're giving them everything they need to say yes. And when you look at your closing rate, you have to be able to measure that. So we love working with you guys. Okay. So what do you need to create your system? This is the exciting part. In the Art Boss formula, we want you to have the playbook so that you can collect your leads. In the Art Boss formula, we want you to really think through your best container, whether that's your website, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Facebook, whether that's LinkedIn, whether that's YouTube. You know your business better than we do. We'll help you decide what your container is so that you can have those outbound messages. We also know that you need to have your brand book. You need to have your unique market message so that you can connect with your ideal customers and walk them down the path to the sale. We also know that you need a sales book. We know that you need to have the process not only to close your sales, but to qualify and disqualify your leads, to track your leads, and then to have all of the tie downs that allow for you to go from where someone says, beautiful, amazing, I love that, how much, to where they're pulling out their credit cards. We can pull all of this together and create that clarity when you work with industry experts, those industry experts who are willing to share the process, who have walked the path ahead of you and know exactly what to do and know exactly how to help you diagnose the disconnect, how to add more gas to your system, how to also identify, is there a leak in your system? Because it's when we build this out together, we have the ability to go from those old school selling methods that work really great when you have clients who are vetted and are walking into your booth. But when you haven't vetted your customers yet because you've moved to the online industry, we need to have that process. So I'm super excited to be able to work with you guys. If you would like to learn more, there are a couple ways that you can do that. You can simply put the word me in the comments below. I'll reach out to you. We can uncover your next steps, create that clarity you need so that you can build that selling system for the online market. We also offer every single week, we offer training that is available to you. If you would like for us to remind you when we're having these free training sessions, you can also connect with Arty. Arty is our art bot, and she will send out reminders. You can grab that link to connect with Arty inside of the description. You can click on that, and Arty will give you updates. She'll give you new stats. She'll give you the first invites to the training sessions that are happening, especially in those training sessions where we have a limited number of people that we work with. So super excited. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.